Hey, it's Miguel Gulen. Thanks for listening to this TCA Tech Notes blog entry. I'm going to just create a short video walkthrough of how to uh, get Cornell note-taking templates that are available online into your OneNote so that you can share them with your students. So as you're looking at this page, you can see I have an article here or blog entry from September 2016. And this blog entry sort of walks you through the process of working with OneNote page templates and finding templates online. The problem with this blog entry, though, is that it was written in 2016 for OneNote 2016, or what's known as OneNote Desktop. Now we have access to Microsoft OneNote app, and that app works great via the web on all your mobile devices. It has a very consistent interface, but what it doesn't have is essentially a way to access and work with templates. So as you can see here, I've got a OneNote notebook that I've set up. It's called Cornell Notes Templates. And in that notebook, I have two sections so far. One is focused on Cornell notes, and the other one is just some miscellaneous templates that I had from the previous blog entry I wrote in 2016. So as you can see, I've got different Cornell note-taking templates. That one was topic focused. This one cues, notes, summary, and then this one has key points and includes record, pre-digest, recite, etc. So how do you get these templates into your OneNote so that you can work with them? Well, what I'm doing is making this particular notebook, Cornell Notes templates, available online, and you can edit this notebook. Of course, I hope that no one that has edit rights is going to accidentally say, oop, I'm going to just delete everything. But if that's the case, I can always copy the information back in there. Now, if you have edit rights to a OneNote notebook, that means that hopefully you would be able to open it and then choose to copy or use Move Copy to copy the pages that are in this OneNote notebook to your other notebooks that you might have. You can see I have several here. But some of us may only have OneNote access online, and especially if that notebook hasn't been shared with you via email, then it's going to be a little difficult to do that. So let's sort of walk through what this might look like. Now, if I'm going to go to my Firefox browser, and when you click on the link in the blog entry, it's going to sort of bring you to sort of a OneDrive look and feel. So let me just quickly jump over and copy that link. And so here I am. I'm in OneNote. I'm actually logged in with my Office 365 account, and I'm going to paste in the address of where that Cornell Notes Templates OneNote notebook is. You may have noticed that it sort of flashed up OneDrive and then immediately took me straight over to OneNote. So as I'm looking at this, I can click on the content, but copying it is not really going to get me much. So one approach that I can take is I can choose to edit in browser. When I click on edit in browser, my screen changes a little bit and I now have a blinking cursor. I can click down here in my table, and this is not going to be very clean, but I can do a Control A, and you see as I'm pressing Control A, it selects more and more of the page. I press Control C to copy, and then I can flip over to my OneNote notebook, which could be a OneNote class notebook because I anticipate sharing content with students. Let's say Cornell Note Taking Template, and then paste it in. You can see right away that this is not a very great result. I've got the URL referencing the source at the bottom. I'm going to have to just adjust the table a little bit because it's just not very clean and neat copy. But it didn't take too long to fix that up and set it up. If I come back to my website, this approach will work with all the others templates. As you can see here, I'm just going to quickly press Control A. That will select everything. Control C to copy. When I flip back over, I can create a new page, call this one another template, and then paste in the template. And again, I'm just going to sort of clean this up a little bit so that it's usable. This isn't too difficult, and if you've been working with OneNote, you probably realize, hey, this is not really, it's not very hard to customize a OneNote template. But I wonder if there might be another approach. So let's give it a shot and try this out. Of course, I mentioned I'm logged in with my OneNote, or excuse me, my Office 365 account. I'm going to come up here to share, and I'm going to share this with my Office 365 account. Notice that recipients can edit, and that's because this notebook is completely open. That means anyone can make changes to it. And oops, it says error, cannot quite share that. So unfortunately, I'm not able to share that. If there was a Microsoft account, that might be a possibility. This OneNote is actually housed in OneDrive.live.com, which is to say it is based off a Microsoft account, not an Office 365 account. So at this point, it really just looks like I'm able to just copy and paste templates into OneNote. And you can see this process doesn't give me perfect results, but it does make it, I mean, it is possible to do this. So this may be really your only option at this point. Now, once I have this information in a OneNote notebook, it's not incredibly difficult to share it with my students. So let's say that I wanted to copy all of these templates that I've just grabbed off the web. I can come up here, I can choose copy or move copy. When I choose move copy, I'm going to get the option to drop it into any one of my notebooks that I have. So I can just quickly come up here to my TCA Connect. I'm just going to drop it in the welcome and say copy. If I switch to my TCA Connect and look in my welcome section, I should now have those templates down here at the bottom. Now, if I have a notebook that I'm using with Office 365, so for example, here I have a OneNote class notebook. I'm going to open that notebook, and copying pages is pretty easy, because what I can do is once this notebook is opened, I'll be able to copy it into the content library. You may recall that the OneNote class notebook content library is intended as a space where you can drop content as the teacher that students can then come in later and copy and paste. So what I'm going to do here is just go back to my Cornell Notes templates. I'm going to move or copy, and I'm going to find that class notebook. When I choose class notebook, I'm going to go to content library, and I have two sections here. I'm just going to go into the university because that's where I'm dropping content, and choose copy. And what happens is that these three templates that are currently in my Cornell Notes templates notebook are now going to appear in my TCA Laredo classes notebook. So if I come to the content library and look in the university, I have a lot of content already there. I should see at the bottom of all of that, I should see my Cornell note-taking templates and the other templates that I have there. So how do I get these templates to my students? I have it in my content library in my class notebook, but how do I get them to my students? So the easiest way is to simply come up to the class notebook tab, and as you can see, there is a distribute page there. You just click on distribute page. It'll ask you to sign in. So you'll have to sign in with your Office 365 account. And of course, you'll have to enter your password. And it will load up. And now notice that over on the right-hand side of my screen, I can distribute the Cornell note-taking templates to a student section. Now, what student sections you see here, for example, I have class notes, handouts, homework, and quizzes, really depends on how you first set up the class notebooks for students. So I'm going to choose handouts and click on distribute. And what's happening right now is that this page, Cornell note-taking templates, is being distributed to all of my students. I don't have to sit here and wait for that. I can go do other things. If I come over here to another templates, and this is something I want to distribute, I can come up to distribute page. And again, I'm going to choose to distribute it to the handout. I click on distribute, and now my second Cornell note-taking template is being pushed out to students. There it is. It's done. If I go look at my two students, and as I'm in teacher mode here, so I can come here to TCA student 01, click on that. Here's a list of all the folders. If I click on handouts, one of these should be a Cornell note-taking, and you'll notice it took a moment for it to pop up. So that's because the notebook was refreshing. It was syncing up all the changes, and now I can see Cornell note-taking templates, Cornell note-taking templates. So each one of these is there and available. If I go to TCA student number 2 and again go to handouts, oops, nothing there yet, but it should be popping up in just a moment. So now I can see that that notebook or page has popped up. So that's really just in a nutshell how to quickly grab Cornell note-taking template from my shared editable OneNote notebook on the web, copy and paste it into your own notebook, and it can be any notebook that you have. I often recommend teachers create their own source notebook, so that way then they can copy and paste content from that source notebook into their OneNote class notebook. Once those templates are in your class notebook, perhaps in your content library, then what you can do is go to move or copy, and then go in and choose where do you want to copy that to. So you can copy that notebook or those pages into your class notebook or any other notebook. And if you want to distribute the page to the students, go to the class notebook tab, choose distribute page, and you're ready to go. Hope this has been helpful to you. I do invite you to read the original digitizing Cornell note-taking with OneNote, and this video is actually a part of a new blog entry I'm writing on Go Digital with Cornell Notes and the free OneNote app. But the video will probably appear before the blog entry. So I hope it's been helpful to you. Please do visit the TCA blog. You can find it online at blog.tca.org.